Hello, welcome to the today's lecture. Before proceeding to the numerical of Bell-Coleman cycle, we will discuss the cycles of Bell-Coleman. The cycle consists of four basic processes. The first process is isentropic compression process 1 to 2. Then second process is constant pressure cooling process, which is heat rejection process. Then third process is isentropic expansion process, and the fourth process is constant pressure expansion process, which is shown in the PV and TS diagram. The cooling process, the heat rejected is calculated as QR is equal to Q suffix 2 to 3, which is equal to Cp into T2 minus T3. Then the heat absorbed process, that is constant pressure expansion process, where the heat absorption is calculated as Q suffix A equal to Q suffix 4 to A, which is equal to Cp into bracket T1 minus T4. Now, in this lecture, we will solve some numericals on Bell-Coleman cycle. So, we will take the first numerical. A Carnot refrigerator works between the temperature limits of minus 5 degrees centigrade to 20 degrees centigrade. Can calculate the power required to run the refrigerator in case it produces 1000 kg of ice per hour at minus 5 degrees centigrade. The surrounding temperature is 20 degrees centigrade. Assuming reversible heat transfer, then specific heat of ice as C suffix I is equal to 2 kilojoule per kg Kelvin, and the specific heat of water, that is C suffix W, is equal to 4.19 kilojoule per kg Kelvin, and the latent heat of freezing of ice is L suffix I is equal to 335 kilojoule per kg. To start the solution, first we have to write down the given data, and the given data is like this. The lower temperature we considered at it as T suffix 2, so it is T suffix 2 is equal to minus 5 degrees centigrade. We need to calculate it in terms of Kelvin, so it becomes 268 Kelvin. Similarly, the higher temperature will be T1, which is 20 degrees centigrade. In terms of Kelvin, it is 293 Kelvin. The mass of ice produced is 1000 kg per hour. The refrigerating effect is calculated like this. So first of all, the water, which is at room temperature, nothing but at 20 degrees centigrade, it needs to be cooled to 0 degrees centigrade. So that heat we have to extract or remove. Then that 0 degree centigrade water, which is in the liquid state, need to be converted into the solid state. So that is nothing but the freezing of ice. That heat we have to remove, plus the temperature that we want to maintain at the water side, nothing but ice side, is the minus 5. So from 0 to again minus 5 degrees centigrade, we have to remove the heat. So by adding all these three heat, the net refrigerating effect is calculated. Hence, this particular statement, which is a theoretical one, is formulated in terms of formula like this, that is refrigerating effect is equal to mass of ice into the inside the bracket there is cooling water from 20 degrees centigrade to 0 degrees centigrade, then adding freezing point of ice, that is latent heat of ice, then adding the subcooling of ice from 0 degree to minus 5 degrees centigrade. This thing is shown in the slide, that is refrigerating effect is equal to 1000, that is mass of ice, into bracket 4.18, nothing but the specific heat of water, multiply by difference of 20 minus 0 degree plus 335, that is the freezing latent heat of freezing, then plus 0 minus of 5. So when all this thing is getting multiplied and added, then we get the refrigerating effect value as 428,800 kilojoule per hour, and we have to calculate it in terms of seconds. So we have to divide this 42800 by 3600. So the final value of refrigerating effect will be 119.11 kilojoule per second. The same thing can be written as kilowatt. Next, the COP is calculated as lower temperature divided by difference of higher temperature minus lower temperature. That is T2 divided by T1 minus T2. If we put the temperature values as 268 for T2 and 293 for T1, the coefficient of performance for this particular type of example will comes as 10.72. Now to calculate the power, we need to use the same coefficient of performance formula, that is the refrigerating effect upon work supplied. Here the work supplied can be considered as a power. So the COP value is 10.72, which is equal to refrigerating effect, which we already calculated as 119.11 divided by W, nothing but the power for this particular case, as we are calculating in terms of watt. So the power value will be obtained as 11.11 kilowatt. So in this way we have to solve the numerical. आता मी क्या करेल? Now moving to the second example. In the second example, the statement of the example is like this. In air refrigeration system, the working on Bell-Coleman cycle, the system draws the cold air at 1 bar pressure and 13 degrees centigrade temperature from the cold chamber at the rate of 5 kg per second. It is compressed isentropically in a compressor and then cooled in a condenser up to the temperature of 27 degrees centigrade, and then it is expanded isentropically in the expander up to the atmospheric pressure and discharged to the cold chamber. The compressor and expander both run at the speed of 300 rpm. Then determine first the ton of refrigeration produced, second the net power required to run the machine, third the coefficient of performance of the system, the fourth stroke volume of compressor and expander. For this data, assume both compressor and expander, they are single acting cylinder. Assume gamma equal to 1.4. The universal gas constant R is equal to 287 Newton meter per kg Kelvin, which we can say it is kilojoule per kg Kelvin. The specific heat of air is 1.005 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. So from this particular statement, first we need to write down the given data. The given is like this. The mass flow rate of the air is 5 kg per second. The pressure at the starting is P1, which is same as P4. So because it is a constant pressure process, so P1 equal to P4 is equal to 1 bar pressure. The temperature at the starting is 13 degrees centigrade. So it is calculated in terms of Kelvin as 286 Kelvin. Then the temperature at the end of the process is T3, that is 27 degrees centigrade given. So in terms of Kelvin it is 300 Kelvin. At the same time the pressure value is 6 bar, and this pressure again the process is constant pressure process, so P2 equal to P3, 6 bar. The speed for both compressor and expander is 300 rpm. From the statement of the example, the few parameters we need to calculate, that is ton of refrigeration, net power required and COP. So for calculating these parameters, we require to first of all find out the temperatures, that is a T2 temperature value, then T4 temperature value. Okay, so first we will calculate that, and then we will move for the actual finding of this particular example. So to calculate the T2 temperature, so we need to use the process called as isentropic process from 1 to 2 shown in the PV diagram. So which is calculated as T2 divided by T1 equal to P2 by P1 raised to gamma minus 1 upon gamma, and hence the T2 is calculated by substituting the values of T1, P2 and T1. So from the given data we know that T1 is 286 Kelvin, then pressure 2, that is P2, is 6 bar and T1 is 1 bar, and the gamma, that is value is 1.4. So after substituting all these values, the T2 value obtained is 483.9 Kelvin. Similarly, for calculating the temperature value T4, we need to use another process, that is process 3 to 4, which is an isentropic process. Hence the formula is like this: P3 divided by T4 equal to P3 divided by P4 raised to gamma minus 1 upon gamma. So when you substitute all these values and rearrange the equation, the T4 value is obtained as 179.8 Kelvin. The refrigerating effect is calculated as Q2 equal to m suffix a, mass of air, into specific heat of air, into bracket T1 minus T4. So mass of air given as 5, then Cp value is 1.005, the temperature T1 value is 286, and the T4 value which we calculated as 179.8. So after substituting all these values, we get Q2 as 553.76 kilojoule per second. That kilojoule per second is nothing but kilowatt. So this refrigerating effect we always calculated in terms of tons of refrigeration. So we know that 1 TR, that is 1 ton of refrigeration, is equal to 3.5 kilojoule per second or 3.5 kilowatt. So if we divide this 553.76 with the help of 3.5, we will get the refrigerating effect value in terms of tons of refrigeration. For this particular case, the Q2 value is obtained as 157.45 tons. The net power required to run the machine is nothing but the difference of compressor work minus expander work. So W is nothing but net power required. So W is equal to, or work required, W is equal to W suffix C minus W suffix E. So W suffix C is calculated as M into A into Cp into T2 minus T1, whereas expander work is calculated as M suffix A into Cp into T3 minus T4. If we substitute all the values in this particular equation, the final work done or the power requirement is calculated as 370.34 kilojoule per second. The coefficient of performance, the next parameter, is calculated as refrigerating effect upon work done. So it is Q2 upon W. Q2 value which we have already calculated. Now here we need to take the we need to remember that we have to substitute the value of Q2 in terms of kilojoule per second, because the work value which we obtained, that is 370.34, is in kilojoule per second. So for unit balancing, we need to substitute Q2 as 553.76 instead of 157.45 ton. So if we substitute that, the COP obtained for this particular example is 1.495. The remaining parameter, that is the stroke volume of compressor and expander, is calculated like this. The volume flow rate of compressor is calculated by the formula which we know, that PV is equal to MRT. This is the basic formula. Here the compressor entry point is point number 1. So it is, all the notations are 1. So V1 is equal to MRT1 divided by P1. If we substitute the M value as 5, the R value as 287, temperature T1 as 286, and the pressure as 1 bar, that is nothing but 1 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per meter square. After substituting all these values, the volume flow rate of compressor is obtained as 4.615 meter cube per second. The next, the V1 volume is also can be calculated by the formula called as stroke volume multiplied by the speed. Here in this particular example, we need to calculate the stroke volume of the compressor. So the stroke volume of compressor, nothing but V suffix Cs, is equal to V1 divided by the speed. And what is the speed of this particular compressor? That is a 300 RPM. So that RPM need to be converted, and hence the V suffix Cs will obtained as 0.8323 meter cube. The stroke volume for expander is calculated by the same procedure. Only the point which we have to consider is point number 4 on the PV diagram. So the stroke volume of the expander is calculated as V4 is equal to M into R into T4 divided by T4. So if we substitute M as 5, R as 287 and T4 as 179.8, which we already calculated, divided by P4 which is 1 bar, so 1 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per meter square. After substituting we get V4 as 2.58 meter cube per second. Again this stroke volume for the expander is calculated as V4 divided by speed. Again the same speed, which is 300 rpm, we need to convert it into rps, and this is done by dividing it with 60. Hence the V suffix CE is equal to V4 divided by N, which is equal to 2.58 divided by 300, and which is divided by 60. So the final answer of stroke volume for the expander is 0.51 meter cube. Now moving to the next example, example number 3. A refrigerator of 10 ton capacity works on BCC, that is Bell-Coleman cycle, works between the pressure limits of 1 bar and 7 bar. The temperature of air at the entry to the compressor is 15 degrees centigrade and to the entry to expander is 37 degrees centigrade. Assume that the index of expansion and compression is 1.3 each, and both compressor and expander are double acting type with common stroke 40 centimeter. Units run at 350 rpm. The volumetric efficiency for compressor and expander is 85%. We have to find first coefficient of performance, second mass of air circulated per minute, third bore of compressor and expander, and we have to assume R as 0.29 kilojoule per kg Kelvin, and specific heat for air is 1.015 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. So in this numerical, the volumetric efficiency terminology is given. The next thing is the polytropic index, which is considered as 1.4, which we thought as a gamma in earlier example. In this case we have to consider it as a N, which is 1.3 value, different than the 1.4. The given data for the example is like this: T1, that is entry point pressure, which is equal to P4 is 1 bar, T2, T3 is 7 bar. Then temperature initially T1 is 15 degrees centigrade. After converting into Kelvin, it is 288 Kelvin. Then T3 temperature, which is 37 degrees centigrade. So its final value in terms of Kelvin is 310. The speed is 350 rpm. The small n value is 1.3. And one more important thing is that this particular type of example of Bell-Coleman cycle, the double acting cylinder is there. So therefore n is equal to 2 we have to consider for this particular example, and we are assuming the mass flow rate of the air as 1 kg of air. The process, so before proceeding to the findings of this example, again we have to calculate the T2 and other parameters, that is T4. So for calculating those parameters, we have to follow the same procedure, that is 1 to 2 is isentropic compression process and 3 to 4 is isentropic expansion process. So T2 divided by T1 is equal to P2 by P1, n minus 1 upon n. So T2 is obtained as 451 Kelvin, whereas process 3 to 4 is expansion process. So T3 divided by T4 is equal to P3 divided by P4 raised to n minus 1 upon n. T4 value obtained as 197.8 Kelvin. So the work requirement is calculated in this way, because the polytropic index value is not 1.4, it is 1.3. So W is equal to n bracket n upon n minus 1 into R into bracket T2 minus T1 minus of bracket n upon n minus 1 into R into bracket T3 minus T4. So after substituting all these values of n, R, T2, T1, T3, T4, The work W is calculated as 64.09 kilojoule per kg. The refrigerating effect Q2 is calculated as mass flow rate multiplied by specific heat multiplied by difference of T1 minus T4 inside the bracket. So after substituting this particular values of M1, Cp and T1, T4, the Q2 is obtained as 91.55 kilojoule per kg. So COP is calculated as Q2 divided by W, which is 91.55 divided by 64.09. So its value is 1.4285. The refrigeration capacity given for this particular plant is 10 ton. So calculating it in terms of kilojoule per second by multiplying 3.5. So Q2 is equal to 35 kilojoule per second, and the mass flow rate of the air circulated is calculated as Q2 divided by this particular Q2. So is nothing but the refrigeration capacity divided by the refrigerating effect. There is a small difference in M suffix A which we are calculating right now, and the M suffix A which we have considered for calculating Q2 value earlier. The difference is that this particular M suffix A has a dot on its top side. That means it is the rate. Hence the unit must be in kg per second or kg per minute. That is a small difference you need to understand while solving such a type of numerical. So M suffix A raised to dot, that is mass flow rate of air circulated, will obtain as 23.05 kg per minute. V1 is calculated as M into R into T1 divided by P1. So after substituting all these values, it is 19.25 meter cube per minute. The actual swept volume per stroke is this V1 divided by 2 into capital N. The 2 is nothing but double acting and N is speed. So after substituting those values, the actual swept volume per stroke is 0.0275 meter cube. The theoretical swept volume can be calculated as V suffix CS is actual swept volume divided by the volumetric efficiency. The volumetric efficiency value is 85%, so it is 0.85. Then we get V suffix SC as 0.032353 meter cube per stroke. The V suffix CS can be written in detail as pi by 4 d square c into L, which is equal to the earlier value, that is 0.032353. The d square c is obtained as 0.032353 into 4 into 1 divided by pi into 0.4. The final DC value is calculated after taking the square root is 0.321 meter. Okay, you need to remember that this DC value is in meter. So when you calculate in terms of mm, it is 321 mm. Then for calculating V4, the same procedure we have to add up, that is M into R into T4 divided by V4. If we substitute all the values, we will get V4 as 13.22 meter cube per minute. The same thing we have to add up for calculating the actual swept volume per stroke for the expander, which is V4 divided by 2 into N, that is 13.22 divided by 2 into 350. This 2 is again for the double acting cylinder. For this expander, the value of actual swept volume per stroke is 0.018857 meter cube. The theoretical swept volume is calculated by the earlier same formula, that is V suffix SC is equal to actual swept volume divided by volumetric efficiency. The volumetric efficiency value is same for the compressor and this expander, that is 0.85. So when we substitute that, the obtained value is 15.553 meter cube per minute. VCS is also calculated as pi by 4 d square of c into L. So after substituting this, we get DC value as 0.1064 meter. Okay, the same thing you can calculate in terms of mm. In this way, we have to solve the numerical which are based on Bell-Coleman cycle. Okay, thank you for viewing this lecture.